Well, welcome everyone. My name is Paul Begans, and we're here to talk a little bit today about how we were able to implement our learning management platform and take our entire organization from absolutely nothing, that's zero, all the way to 40 hours per learner within the first 6 months of our implementation. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully everyone in the room is excited to be here. So let's take a look. So a little bit about my background is Learning and Development Coordinator for the Kenaitze Indian Tribe. They're a sovereign nation in Kenai, Alaska, right at the mouth of Cook Inlet and the Kenai River. Very nice place. I would encourage all of you guys to at least put that on your bucket list, especially during the summer. I actually attended Oregon State University, graduated there a little while back with the College of Health and Human Performance. Took a long, windy road and ended up back up in Alaska, my hometown, and basically started working for the Kenaitze Indian Tribe as a consultant, and took that to the learning and development role that I'm currently in. The tribe is a federally recognized tribe. They were recognized in 1971, but that doesn't mean that they started in 1971. The tribe has been here since time immemorial. There's really no time frame you can put on when they came into existence, but 1971 was an important date because it allowed us to start contracting for federal funding and be recognized as an independent sovereign nation. But more about that later. There's more than 1,600 tribal members that live across the Kenai Peninsula and beyond, and this is actually the first year that we were able to take our organization to 300 plus full and part-time employees. So it's a really exciting time for the tribe, a lot of exponential growth that we've been experiencing, and hence the segue into the learning and development going absolutely ballistic. The tribe has a variety of wellness programs. In 2014, they opened a 52,000 square foot Dena'ina Health and Wellness Center right in Kenai, Alaska. Very, very much state of the art. It's fully integrated, wide range of services under one roof. They have pharmacy, dental, behavioral health, all sorts of services to run the gamut. The tribe also has a tribal justice system, a tribal court. It's one of the important key factors in being a sovereign nation is that they are able to self-govern, and part of that has a judicial system for them to be able to expand that service. They have early childhood center, elders, social services programs, really, really well integrated. So that's a little bit about it. In the vision, a tribal education system is one of the key tenets of the vision. And part of that is really allowed us to have the buy-in of our leadership when it comes to implementing learning and development. What we wanted to do was to be able to deliver to the tribe and its employees a very streamlined, engaging, modern learning interface we were able to utilize more of a push-pull system rather than pushing learning on our learners. We wanted to be able to them to be drawn into the platform. So we designed a 10-week management training course that touched all aspects of the learning. Really, really exciting. We termed that Path of the Raven. The Raven is one of the mascots of the tribe, the main one. And so we were able to do that, and that's underway right now, and it's been received very well. We had a bunch of strategies to overcome, some of our obstacles. So we had to work with a company that had a total package, a real solution to what we were facing. And one of the things that we had to do is we had to make sure that process was exhaustive, because we only had one shot to make it right. And a lot of times in life, we're only given one shot. And sometimes we really have to make sure that we do it right the first time, and this was no different. So we had some of our criteria that we wanted to make it engaging, we had to make it customizable. The sovereignty of the tribe is very important, so that making that stand out was a key element that we wanted to make sure that we addressed. We also wanted to make sure that implementation was seamless. This was the first time that we were going to do something like this with the tribe, as far as going from a pen and paper type system as we're tracking, and then all the way to a fully scalable learning management platform. With that being said, the implementation really had to go flawlessly. So that is why we ultimately chose CrossKnowledge. But we essentially had, like I said, a pen and paper Excel spreadsheet way to track. And so we wanted to get ahead of the curve. We had to be innovators. We had to be someplace now that we envisioned we should be in the future, and really bridge that gap. So we had to engage our learners with capabilities. We had to engage our learners with a vision, and we had to engage our learners in a manner that they hadn't been engaged before. We had to expand the boundaries. So we wanted to identify a solution that was innovative. It had to have world-class content. We have, well, in any organization, I'm sure, has leadership. And leadership usually has a very high set of expectations. They're very often very well educated. And in order to deliver the type of content that we had to make sure that it was of that caliber. And we had to expand that caliber to bring everybody with us. So we also wanted an analytics package on the back end to make sure that we could measure everything that we were trying to capture, and then therefore take it to the next level when we needed to. It's completely scalable. We also wanted to make sure that it was gamified. That's kind of a buzzword these days, is gamification of learning. And in order to do that, we wanted to make sure that everything in the platform that we chose was able to draw learners in. So every single thing that they do in that platform has points or a badge or sort of a contest associated with it. So that was really exciting. It's been really great for us, and our learners have actually, well, to use a term, eaten that up. So we chose CrossKnowledge because it was a turnkey solution. They were willing to go to the table. They were willing to sit down with us, decide help us determine what we wanted, and then really expand upon our own values and metrics and visions that we had for the platform. So it was really learner-centric. We wanted to pull those learners in. And we also had to make sure that it was completely digital. We wanted to make sure that it was accessible across any device, anytime, anywhere, type of thing. So in order to do that, we had to have this solution, and CrossKnowledge was ultimately peerless in the industry. A number of other large organizations use CrossKnowledge. I won't get into those here, but that was also a deciding factor in our decision. And we knew that they had the experience, we knew they had the capability, we knew that they could ultimately deliver the solution that we were after. So just one of the pieces of content, and I'm sure you HR professionals in the room will appreciate this. Bullying in the workplace was one of the topics that we had thrown out there, and that coincidentally just had the highest number of completions since we implemented that in March, and 299 people have completed our compliance training. So that, I mean, we have a little over 300 employees. So, that being said, that just shows you the very high level of percentage we were able to pull our learners in. So our measurements for success were really simple. We decided if the platform and the topics impact our learners, so we should see somewhat of an S-curve with rapid adoption happening within the third month, and that's exactly what happened. People got to talk about it, people got engaged, people got excited about learning, which is something that in turn got us excited, and it's kind of added fuel to the fire. So we achieved 100% compliance in our regulatory training goals, so we are 100% content in the fact that we can rest at night knowing that our organization has met our compliance and regulatory training goals. We deployed 12 customized management and leadership programs in under 2 months. This was the first ever for the tribe. To take a formal learning plan and develop that from scratch, it was a really exciting time, because you know that you're doing something for the first time. You know that when you put in your due diligence and that you have a solution that's there, you're taking a step on the moon, so to speak. You've been where nobody's been before. In terms of our organization, that was true. So between March and August of 2017, we had a little over 11,000 hours were spent on the platform. 38 hours on average per learner at a 95% connection rate. That was huge for us, and it was a very, very exciting time for us to be a part of. Just some look at some of the metrics that we have. From April, you can kind of see it peak March, and then come back down through August, where we really had a very large adoption rate for our platform. So, the outcomes. So one of the things that we really got super pumped about was that our challenge of accountability was addressed with almost without any further intervention. Two of our things that came up on our employee satisfaction surveys was communication and accountability. And the platform has such a robust feature of bringing the learners in to their learning that we could address accountability in learning and compliance and all of those things without really having to do a whole lot. We made sure notifications were out, we brought the right people in, we make sure they're involved all the time. So that was really exciting to see that turnaround and that shift within a very short window. The tribe successfully implemented for the first time a modern digital marvel. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. CrossKnowledge really has been a game changer for us. And we acquired capabilities and technological leverage. We use that as leverage. This is really about taking and using technology as a tool to add a whole bunch of more excitement for our learners, for our employees, bring them in and engage them and make sure that they can get something out of the platform and know that the tribe was invested in their success. So that was really, really impressive for us to know that from a learning standpoint we were able to do that. So what the other aspect of it is our content creation. CrossKnowledge has quite a breadth of content already developed, but we wanted to make sure that anything that we developed had the same look and feel, so it was kind of seamless across the learner experience. So we're engaging our learners and enable them to think in terms of organizational and staff development in a manner that we haven't seen before. People are now asking about what their next steps are, what their career is going to look like, and how the platform can help them get there. So we talked a little bit about the vision before, but by 2025, the tribe has a vision that includes a bunch of different things. When it comes down to it, it's to strengthen the prosperity and future of the tribe through future leaders. They have a couple of different things to do that. They want to create a tribal education system, and we need to create a culture of accountability throughout the organization in order to do that. So we found the right partner in CrossKnowledge, delivering results to reach our goals and our short-term objectives. Really, it was about finding a partner that we could take and realize we could have a long-term relationship with that. I think most successful endeavors are created not just from one action or one person, but from a group of people, from a team, and that's absolutely how we had to envision this particular relationship. So this kind of brings us to a really, really key point. Taking something from the first time, doing something for the first time, not only is it exciting, but it can also be, kind of daunting. You kind of have a void that has to be filled, and oftentimes there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of all sorts of things that you can think of to describe a challenge. And this is really about taking and answering that challenge. And one of the key things is we had to make sure that we had buy-in. At the highest levels of the organization, the buy-in had to happen. That had to happen from the executive director, the CEO, the president, tribal council. We have an executive director and a tribal council, but just for the sake of continuity of terms, I've thrown CEO and all of that in there. So and if we don't have the buy-in of everybody at the top of the organization, there is a potential for the plans to stop, to stagnate, to take longer than they need to. So it's best to get that buy-in out the gate and make sure that everybody is behind the project. That's ultimately what we were able to do in our organization. And that being said, that was sort of built into the vision, but at the same time, those relationships that you create in the workplace will allow you to get that buy-in and get that backing and ultimately be successful in your project. Your needs have to be pretty well defined. If you have a vision of where you want to go and you take and develop that vision, each aspect, everything that ties into that vision, you will find that each and every bullet point will expand and develop as your vision sort of expands and develops. But even if we take and hold the vision constant, each one of those bullet points will still expand. There's always things that you're thinking of, there's always things that are accountable for, but making sure that you have a rough outline of where you want to go is going to give you that framework so you can start to climb up that ladder of success. So as a learning leader, you really do. You only have one shot with a project of this magnitude. Once you roll that out, it's before everybody. And we had to make sure that it was extremely, that we were extremely critical to make sure that, in turn, the delivery of the content and that face of our platform was perfect. Another lesson learned is do your homework. And I know that's, well, for me, it's been a little while since I've had to do my homework in terms of school, but with that, your homework in this case is making sure that every conceivable wrong outcome is potentially avoided, but it's also making sure that everything, all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted in terms of what you're looking for. And trust yourself. With these types of projects, it's very easy to wonder, especially if any of you guys are, a team of one in a learning organization, which that's not uncommon. You have to be able to trust yourself. You have to know that deep down there is something that you're doing that is right, and that's that little voice in your head that says, well, am I doing this right or am I not? That is one thing that every day you need to tell yourself that you are doing right, because what you do makes a difference every single day. So having that trust, that self-worth, you have to get in front of a mirror, have a little pep talk. If you have to go work out, if you have to ride your bike, whatever that looks like, count your wins. The more wins that you can count, the better you're going to be. And that doesn't mean have a win like you're going to climb Mount Everest. It just means, hey, I got up today. That can be a win. Or hey, I ate my 2 apples and drank my water today. It's something simple, but count your wins and trust yourself. So looking forward, we are going to be developing career tracks through personalized learning initiatives. What that's going to look like is we are going to be able to take teams of like-minded people and be able to develop their career track through identifying what quote-unquote deficiencies and what strengths they have, and augment that with prescribed learning. So we're going to focus on managerial training, toward better accountability and collaboration. That's going to foster a team environment. We're going to leverage digital learning for professional career development opportunities. We're actually looking to basically take our college type credits and implement those into our learning management platform, which will allow people to pursue higher education at a rate that hasn't happened before by removing some of those barriers. All right, thank you for joining me. You guys all have a great and wonderful day.